So, Becky, powerful stuff.
Yeah, thank you. We really felt like we wanted to kind of give a different perspective with this episode. We wanted to give a kind of um, we wanted to amplify Black voices as a white platform. So we we brought a lot in to this episode, and I think it paid off.
I mean, Black Lives Matter, three words which are resonating around the globe, particularly since the killing of George Floyd in America, and more incidents since then as well. There have been some terrible things, particularly coming out of America. Uh, Black Lives Matter, of course, is, like I said, three words that are on the tips of all of our tongues at the moment. But the emphasis from this podcast, which is going to air tonight, is white silence kills, and
Yeah,
that's just as important.
yeah, no, definitely. I think we felt like we had a responsibility as well to kind of spark conversation in white communities as a podcast platform. And being as we are all white, we decided, we want to use our platform for the good to spread that. And as well, as media students, it's some responsibility again to change the industry that we want to go into.
Yeah, it's not just a laugh, is it? All this media stuff, there's some obviously some serious things at the moment. Is this the most serious thing you've tackled as a project?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so for sure. I think this episode has been particularly challenging to put together because of that, and everything we've kind of gathered for it has taken time, and it's taken a lot of thought. And we started the episode thought processes weeks before we started recording, because we wanted to make sure we got it right. I think it's important that we showed it in in the right way.
Well, we've heard the trailer a few moments ago here on Switch Radio, but we're going to be tuning in at 10 o'clock tonight when the whole thing plays, which we are delighted to put out for you. But can you just give us a sample of what we can expect tonight when we tune in at 10?
Yeah, so we've got a lot of voices on this episode, which is something as well we usually don't do. But again, we thought it was important to show Black voices. So we've got some poetry in there. We've got a interview with a Black business owner from around Birmingham. And we've also got some guests from kind of our hometowns, people we know that give us input on the issues we discuss as well. So we kind of go over everything from education to why it's a white problem again, and how we can help this.
So you're attending Birmingham City University, but where are you actually from?
So I'm from Bedfordshire originally, which is a very white place, I'd say. So especially I conducted the interview we did with Jordan Hamilton, the Black business owner, and I said to him, it's interesting seeing a different perspective from Birmingham compared to perhaps where I'm from, which is just total different in diversity.
The multiculturalism of Birmingham is something that appeals to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think probably everyone in the podcast would probably say that moving to Birmingham was a big jump there, and I think it's important to live in a place with lots of diversity, so you experience that, and you understand those cultures as well.
So how many of you were involved in actually putting this together?
So there's four of us that host a podcast, and we kind of all just do bits for it, little bits here and there. But yeah, we all host it. I kind of produce and do social media as well in addition to that.
And although it's a very serious subject, are you excited about the prospect of it going out on the radio tonight?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's exciting to put something out that is meaningful as well. Like, I'm glad this is our first piece that's going out on radio, because it's a really important piece, and it's something we kind of haven't tackled before, as I said earlier. So yeah, it'd be good for people to hear, and I hope that it kind of hits home with a few people too.
And what kind of reaction are you expecting? You know, the reaction that you get when you think, yeah, I expected that, or I'm happy with that, or what potentially could surprise you from the reaction?
I guess I just hope that people will learn from it, and hopefully listen to the voices that we've tried to amplify doing it. Especially kind of the spoken word pieces we've got in there, I think are really powerful. And even when I was listening to them, I felt like I was learning something. So I'd like to think that people will be able to learn something from it. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got about a minute to go on our little chat here. This is it. This is your chance. Go on. We've played the trailer. We spoke to you. This is it. Becky Harvey's going to sell this podcast to our audience tonight and get everybody tuning in at 10 o'clock tonight. Go on.
Okay, so this podcast is really a different angle for us, and I really hope that it manages to capture the attention of kind of everyone and anyone. It's for everyone and anyone because it's a subject that affects us all, whether it affects you directly or it affects your friends, it affects people you know, it affects people around you in your city. I'd encourage you to listen, even if you tune in and listen to the spoken word. Like, any of it is just really powerful. I think as a piece it's powerful, and you know, you'll see what I mean when you listen.
10 o'clock tonight here on Switch Radio, and of course available to download. Is it going to be on all podcast platforms once it's been out on the radio?
Yeah, so we always say that we're on all podcast platforms except SoundCloud. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, your usual, everywhere.
Okay, and final time this, because it's your work, your podcast. It's on tonight, 10 o'clock. That's all I'll say. Go on. What's it called?
It's Behind the Peel.
Behind the Peel, and it will be on Switch Radio tonight at 10 o'clock. Becky Harvey, thanks so much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me.